Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hi, how are you? Happy Saturday. Hey Barbara, hey Carol, hey Mullen, hey Delwyn, how are you? Hey Sue. I need to be holding my mirror since you guys always get reminded of Romper Room. Is that a little bright? It's okay, huh? That's actually not too bad. My hands and the rest of everything is kind of bright, huh? But you can see the details. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Nice to see you. Barbara, how's your vacation going? All right. Okay, so... Oh, I was going to remove this. Okay, so I have something to show. I'll wait for everyone to get here. Hey, Terry, how's it going? I always want to say Terry. I don't know why. Wait, the way it's spelled, maybe. I don't know. It's been forever. I mean, things happen, you know? I feel like I've been a fan of streams or places I show up a lot, and I still, like, I can't do it forever. You know what I mean? And then I'll have like a long stint where I can do it again. So it's like, it's just how it is. It's so normal. What have you guys been up to? Are you guys ready for the week to be over? My daughter's been visiting with her friend, and she leaves tomorrow. And it's like, it went by really fast, and I feel like I hardly got to see her. But it's not like when she's here, we're like, let's do whatever together, you know what I mean? Like, I live pretty rurally, and she knows I'm kind of a stick in the mud about going and doing things. Like Terry, okay, yeah. All right, so far, we've gotten pretty far on this coat, and then I decided to bind the inside seams with a binding attachment that goes on my industrial as an experiment. So I apologize to Hearts Fabric for experimenting on their project. It's my first one using the binding attachment, and I think it actually went really good. It was really nice to get it going pretty quickly. So you've been on a stream train ride today. What does that mean? You're still making dresses for Dress a Girl Around the World? Nice. Do you have like a goal of the number you're going to be making, Terry? or is it a time limit? All right, so the only other modification I've done is I made this with cutaway pockets like this on the side seam here, rather than inseam pockets. See that? So it's built on to the garment. And I like those because then your pockets on the inside, this is it right here, right? It's like one with the jacket, you know, it's not flopping around. It's a little more low profile. So I like that. And sometimes I'll even turn under this edge and top stitch it down. I wasn't feeling up for it that day, but that would be a cleaner finish. This is a basic flannel fabric. And so while I would really like to go to like lots of fun like details to finish it, I admit I'm not, because it is just a flannel fabric and I don't think it's really like it's more going to be like a long shirt because it's really lightweight. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I don't get to keep it either. You're back from your fabric shopping tour. You're home now. Nice. How was it? Where'd you go? Tell us all. So the one thing I had happen, all right, and so look, we have the collar just about ready to sew. We got to sew it too. Look at this. It's getting all like thready. So I got it. I think I ripped it a little to the notch there. It's fine. It didn't go past that point, thankfully. So fast to finish on the 30th and goes at least 10 with shorts. Nice. That's great. What does your granddaughter like to sew? Does she just like to sew whatever you're sewing, or does she have her own goals? I feel like when you get into sewing, unless you're forced, which some people, I saw Fiona said she was forced to learn by her stepmother, but then she was thankful for it. I feel like you have pretty specific goals. Like you want to sew because you want to do something. So I'm curious what hers are. So I bound this side seams and I did the center back, but I took it out and I'm going to show you why. So I did a little video. Where's my mouse? Here we go. Check it out. So look at the center back seam there. You see how it's pulling? Looks terrible. That's pressed, by the way. So I decided to take the binding out. And so I took the binding out and I thought, oh, this is my tension. My tension's been a little bit funky. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to take the center back seam out and resew it. But it turns out that it was the binding doing that. So once I took the binding off, it relaxed and it's fine, right? Look at it. You can't even see it. That's it right there. Big difference, right? You're working on making t-shirts. Yeah, you're into that now. No. Seam ripping on knit fabric is just, ugh. You went to Piedmont Fabrics in Oakland. Libby's working Stone Mountain and Hearts. Ooh, how fun, Barbara. Did you use your so-so discount when you were at Hearts? Hi, Aisha. How's it going? Where's my, this is not there. And this is not there. Why is that? Were these off the other day? I think they were. I think that's everything though. So Hearts Fabric gave us this project today. I'm gonna make their logo a little bigger so you can see, because there's a little code there. I don't say it out loud, I mean, we can, it's probably fine, but because it can get compromised, you know, on the internet. So, Hearts Fabric gave me this project. They give me projects, quite a few of them. And then we make them and sew them here, and then I send them and they get to live at their shop. So they give you a little discount code if you ever want to shop there. They're West Coast fabric store, and they have a lot of garment fabrics. Oh, really? What? Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara. That's surprising. I don't think that's true. Hi, Michelle. How's it going? She shows you when you make handbags. Showed a quilt top. Wow. She loves sewing by hand. That's cool. That's really cool. We need a Zoom, Barbara, just to see what you got. You got to show it all in this guild. Okay, so I took out all the binding so you didn't have to go through that. I remade my binding. So now I'm ready to resew this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the seam open and sew it, but this is where I stopped because I was thinking that I might need a wider seam allowance. Like there was only 3/8 to begin with, and then I had to trim a lot of these little threads off, which made it even smaller. And so I was thinking about leaving the seam allowance correct at the neck and just making it a little bigger down here to make it easier. That is one thing about this pattern, is that the seam allowances are just way too small. And I say that because if you're going to offer an unlined version, you need more seam allowance to sew a nice finish. Overlocking is fine, but you're not going to probably want to overlock like a beautiful wool coat, right? So the purple tie front top. Oh, is that the Texas top? Was that the name of that top? Yeah, that's kind of true, Aisha. She's super artistic. We're going to make fabric with our artwork. Oh, how fun. Part of my chat's being cut off. Are you going to do something like spoon flower then? That's really fun. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take this seam allowance out and make it bigger. I just don't think binding these tiny, tiny seam allowances is going to go well. Right? So I just need to take out this one seam, press it open, and then we'll bind it. We'll sew it again. And then we'll be back on track. It shouldn't take long. This isn't too bad. Sorry, I didn't get this done. I actually started to take it out, and then I was like, no. I figured out that that doesn't look puckery anymore. I don't need to remove it. And then once I started, I was like, no, I needed to take it out because I need to make it wider seam allowance. So, yeah, sorry. Sorry to start with an ASMR of seam ripping. Did you get mostly garment fabrics, Barbara? Or did you do some, I know you're a big quilter too, so did you do some like quilt, your cart's full, Same. I usually always have things in my cart on Spoonflower. Every time I log in, I'm like, oh, yep, there those things are tempting me again. They're so bent on wallpaper and throw pillows these days, though. But they had a lot of discounts this summer, like 20% off on fabric. So it's worth waiting for those if you're doing fabric, because they're happening a lot more often now. Like I remember when Spoonflower did like a 20% off once a year. And now it's a lot. And that once a year was usually in December, and your order would ship like after the holidays. You didn't want to use it for fabric you needed for holiday sewing. But I was always fine with that because it coincided with certain projects in my business. Oh, okay, Barbara. Ooh, lots of garment fabrics. That's pretty exciting. I need some more knits. I need some solids. This is why I griped like a while ago about, hey Rachel, about quilt stores need to carry more solids, because they are carrying more fabrics that garment sewers can use, like the linens, you know, because their favorite, like their vendors are carrying more linen, right? And so they have it, but that's really only the solids they have. Yeah, Terry, smart. Are they shim? That's right up your alley. Hi, Shim. Oh yeah, your car caddy, your car quilt. I actually love the idea of the car quilt. So I have 2 seat covers sitting here that I bought for my car, but they ended up being like a polyester brushed fabric when I got it. I couldn't find natural fiber, of course, right? And they while they were nice for not sitting on a seat that had sunshine on it, they were not like, they were a little warm. Hey Shawnee, how's it going? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pedal either. It's okay. It's very It's, yeah. It's not like bad fabric. Beverly! 2 Ashtons in linen solids. Oh, that's right. You go to Mexico for the winter. That's coming up. Oh no, your toddler has a cold. Where are you supposed to be? Is it your church day? Wait. I'm so ignorant. I'm not sure. I sometimes see you Saturday mornings for things. Yeah, I mean, the petals, it's not bad fabric. It's just not very usable as a garment sewist for like lots of things. And it feels very thin. The twill and the sateen and the modern, I am not a fan of that sateen. Every time you say that, I'm like, what am I missing about that fabric? Hey, Leia, how's it going? Long time no see. I like the modern jersey. Like I like their knits, the modern jersey, I like the organic cotton one, but I will say like it doesn't have the hugest amount of stretch, but it is a nice like for like a t-shirt or something. Oh, you had a synagogue event today. Oh, bummer. You had to miss it. Oh, that's fine, Rachel. What a devoted person. You're like got us out and about. Someone said they had a train stream going on. I want to know more about that. I like the twill too. I think the twill is a very underrated fabric of theirs. If you're going to make, like you guys want to make jeans or something, don't get the denim. It's so, so heavy. It's nice, but it's so heavy. And I will say like, you know how like your jeans will, if your non-stretch jeans will kind of stretch a little over the course of the day? Not those. It's pretty static. Like it's pretty sturdy. It's a great fabric. It's just that it's even my industrial made me wince a few times. I'm almost through this, I think. I think the linen cotton canvas actually is really nice too. It has a really great texture. I'm not sure about a garment though. I'd probably do like skirt. I'd do a skirt. Are you on a steam train pulled by a steam engine, right? Oh, you said steam. Wait, what did you say earlier? I thought you said stream. You've been on a steam train ride today. I thought you said stream. My bad. That's so funny. I made that all about me, didn't I, Sue? Well, I was really thinking that you meant that you were either watching a stream about trains today or that you were on a train watching the stream. Oh, that's cool, Rachel. What does that mean, you're a train family? You seek them out to like go on train rides? Because we have a few historic ones in California, by the way. Or do you mean that you guys have like, is your garage a model train? They did, Shawnee? I'm sorry. You missed the chat, Carrie. Oh man, I have a long way to go. Keep entertaining me. Choo choo. We've had some actually pretty big chats this week, Carrie. Oh, you are? Nice. This week, I don't know why, but at the end of the stream, we've talked about some like bigger topics. Nothing like heavy, but they were actually really good chats. I feel like those are the moments that what streaming is all about, is when you get to like talk to each other about things, you know. This is taking so long. I'm sorry. I really should have thought this through. I really do think I've thought things through. I'm one of those people though. Hey, Anna. Where I process verbally, and it's really annoying to myself, especially. So say I have a dilemma. I'm a very decisive person. So if I have a dilemma I can't really come to a decision about, and if I just even start to talk about it, it will, like, the decision will pop into my head. Like, even if I didn't even get into the discussion of it. So my husband could just stand there and just look at me. That's enough, you know. I'm wondering if I should do this, or never mind, I figured it out. Like, that's me all the time. And so sometimes I think I've figured out everything I want to do for the stream and in prep, and that I feel like I'm not doing anything you're missing out on. And then as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that thing. Just the meaning of life. Oh, really, Mullen? That sounds so soothing. You go to all of the steam trains that come through. I just like listening to them because they're neat, but part of the family of a train. Trains really remind me of Disneyland, like the smell of the train. Oh, shoot, Rachel, that is a conundrum. I've actually, you know, I've been on the Hogwarts Express, I will say. Like, I've been to London and did that. Hey, Jay Lucas, how's it going? Oh, sorry it's a little boring today. I'm not like jumping into things, but it is kind of nice when we just chat for a bit. And welcome, welcome. I should be sewing soon. We're almost to the top. I'm just trying to get up to about here. So, and I'm doing kind of a shoddy ripping job here. I'm trying not to get my edge to fray anymore. Hey, Sydney, your kitchen's looking really nice, Sydney. Congratulations. That I know it's probably seemed like forever to you, but it went by really fast. Like, you really had things kind of keep progressing, which is great. Skagway, Alaska, into the Yukon Territory. Ooh. I have not been on a train in Alaska. That sounds pretty cool. I haven't been on the one that you see in, like, you know, like sweeping landscape of, you know, movies of like Scotland, you know, like the one they used for the Hogwarts Express, you know. I haven't been on that one. I have a friend that did the, like, almost the whole trek that it takes. She said it was amazing. But that is such a Disneyland memory. Oh, you can still do that, I think, too, Jay Lucas. Right? I'm pretty sure you can. And so the historic thing is in Northern California. And it's... I have to ask my parents where it's at. And there's something about it that's very historic. I can't remember what it is. It might be like, it could be related to the timber industry, to be honest. My husband's biked the whole California coast, and he's also biked, I think, from Seattle or Portland to California. So Blackboard print, yes. Yeah, oh, cool. You've never had a digital pattern professionally printed? Oh, you're never going back. Yeah, I use a few people. I use someone locally, usually. But online, I've used PDF printing. And if you use them, I have a video on how to use their site. But what I recommend is saving up, like, I think it's like, I want to say 5 patterns. And then once you go over 5, it's like a certain number of pages is like one shipping price. And as soon as you go over that, it kicks you into the next shipping category. So finding where that line is like kind of smart, you know? And then I wanted to try Blue Cup Shop because she looks like she's really affordable and she's kind of on top of it. You're up in the Rocky Mountaineer from Banff to Vancouver, wow. That definitely sounds really memorable. Rachel, we have good trains. You sounded really nerdy just now, and I love it. We have good trains. Well, if you do PDF printing, it's lightning fast. You're not going to be needing it faster, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you want to use it that night, then yeah. But it's like 2 days. You'll have it like super fast. Yeah, that's me, Aisha. Aisha, that's me. I would do that too. And now if I use the local printer, they're not that local anymore. Well, because I'm not local to them anymore. And so I have to go to town, which, you know, we know how Saremy is. I am thinking about going to town. Literally, people go to town all the time, and I'm just a baby about it. But I'm trying to get this a little better. Yeah, and then I'd have to like be there while they were open, and they close early every day. They're like they work really early. Yeah, you print and sell the same day. It might be tough then. The thing to do, like I always had a system, so I would have a folder to be printed, and then I need a piece of scrap fabric. I'd have a folder of to be printed, and I would order order patterns, and as soon as I noticed that there were 5 in that folder, I would immediately then just send them all to print. But I also, the thing that's the strike against PDF printing is they don't do layers, so they won't untoggle sizes, and I think that's a huge strike against them. I hate to say it, but they do print in color. But Blue Cup Shop will do layers as well. Will Blackbird do layers? Okay. Why do you iron over the patterns? Just to get the wrinkles out? All right, so I'm just going to make my seam allowance wider down below the neckline here. I can't really change the seam allowance of the neckline. I might probably could and kind of fudge it, you know. But I'm just going to leave it the same and then just kind of swing out. I don't mind if the jacket gets a little bit smaller. You did not sound less nerdier saying you have good train towns. just so you know. The one that prints on tissue. You wait until, yeah, right, Leia? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The plotted pattern. Okay, there's another one. I think I saw one of you mention them in one of your Instagram posts, and I was like, oh, I've seen that place, and I haven't checked them out yet. I think that would be a really hard thing to make a living at. Oh, I see, Sue. That makes sense. Whatever happened to Patternsy? Are they still around? I was really confused by their whole method, but I feel like everybody was talking about Patternsy, and I went on their site and I could not. I was just like, wait, I have to upload my file to Dropbox. Like the whole thing was like, I don't know about this. But I will say when I did my video on how to print PDF patterns, I included them and I figured it out, and I got help from them, and they were very responsive. Although he was pretty lectury about the types of printing. He didn't like the term copy shop. And it's like you can like or hate certain terms that become popular all you want, but the thing is it doesn't change people using them. And I understood where he was coming from, but at the end of the day, I was like, copy shop though doesn't mean more than one thing to people, you know? But he really talked my ear off about it. And I was just like, yeah, dude, I didn't popularize that. I'm new to this whole PDF thing too. So, yeah, that's the one you use. Yeah. Yeah, they just don't do layers. They really need to change that. But, you know, the thing is, like I said, I think it's probably pretty hard to make a living offering that service. And maybe that's how they've figured out how to do it, you know? So if they're going to stay around and be reliable and I can't get layers, I feel like that's a decent trade. You know what I mean? For years and years and years, we only had tissue patterns in envelopes and we couldn't pick sizes. You know? This looks super asymmetrical. Sheesh. I'm a little distracted, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna press this open. This bigger seam allowance. And then we're gonna bind it. Man, I have trimmed this thing so many times because of the threads. So if you got here a little late, I took off the binding off this back seam. I did, you know what? I should have ironed this first. I would have gotten a much more consistent seam allowance because this is all over the place. But I took off the binding off the center back seam because it was pulling, and when I get back to the machine, I'll show you a little video. I took a little quick video on it. It looked terrible. So now I took out the seam. I'm just going to make the seam allowance bigger so there's more to bind, like more seam allowance. And then we'll bind it. I'm going to bind it by hand. So now at least I can give you all my binding by hand tips because you haven't heard them a million times. All right. Oh, yeah, exactly. The fold line does it too. Yeah, right, Shem, I know. That's how it felt with Pattern Z because you send it literally to their Dropbox. But I don't think that that's any different than sending it to anybody. All right, here's a little video. Okay, the lighting will get a little better, I think. You see how how bad? That is not my seam. That was the binding doing that. Because once I took the binding off, it relaxed and it was fine. By hand. So, yeah. That's where I'm at right now. So now I'm going to rebind this without the attachment. Because I think the attachment, I will say though, I think that attachment doesn't pull that much. Ours pulled way more than that. And sometimes the pulling, and see what happens when your binding is being pulled while you're sewing it on. That is really great if you're sewing on the edge of something, especially if the edge changes, like it curves at all or anything. And there's some caveats to this. Like, don't go pulling your binding if you're interfacing a neckline and you're pushing the binding all the way to the inside. Do not pull the binding when you do that. Make it as relaxed as possible, and I have a whole video about that. But when you're pulling your binding, it really helps to allow it to turn under on the other side when you go to edge stitch it. But on something like this that you really need to be hanging relaxed and free, you don't want any pulling. You want the binding to go on really relaxed. And our machine would pull, and I think partly it's because when it was a really dense big roll, it was really heavy. So when the machine is pulling on the binding like this, it can have tension, right? Like this, and then you're stretching the binding. And what happens when you stretch the binding and attach it, once it's sewn, it snaps back, and that's what you're seeing. Yeah, but they sell patterns too. I really think like if they were doing that, it would be on such a small scale, you know? All right, so I'm gonna sew this from the underside of the seam allowance first to the other side, because that's the last side we'll see. And this is really narrow at the top here. And I'll just bring the camera down just so it's a little more interesting. Like that, even though it's in my way probably. Yeah, exactly. I know, like some of the people I use, they're just blueprint plotters. So, all right, so I'm gonna keep my binding really relaxed. And I do frequently tell you to gently pull it, but like I said, on something like this, you don't wanna do that, okay? Yeah, I think if they wanted the pattern someplace, they could probably ask for it and get it for free, to be honest. Because they'd probably hope that they were going to say something about it and pair it with one of their fabrics, you know? Yeah, I know, exactly, Shem. Did anyone say what happened to Pattern Z? Are they still around? Like everybody was talking about them. I feel like I've seen so many sewing related businesses close their doors this year. A lot of pattern companies. Although I saw like Do It Better Yourself got sold and now they're just having constant sales, which started making me feel a little bit like, did they just buy it to have a bunch of sales, get their money out of it, and then what's going to happen? Like, I don't know. I'm like suspicious, you know? I shouldn't be suspicious, but maybe they're just trying to recoup their investment really quick and then carry on. I don't know. But then I saw My Body Model is closing their doors at the end of the year, which is kind of a shame. I never used the service. It was a way to make croquis, which are like a little like miniature a mannequin that you place a piece of paper over and then you can draw your designs over it and you have like a little mannequin and it's a croquis of you. They have a website still? Oh, okay, okay. I never hear anyone talking about them. I think there's a lot more competition now. Because they used to always have like partnerships, like a new pattern would come out and I would feel like, you know, they would say, oh, you could buy it from us and we'll print it or something. I don't know what it was, but. Yeah, Malin. Okay, yeah, Malin and I feel like are on the same page about some of the, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I want. Things like that. We both get a little bit like, what's happening here? And I almost did too. I'm kind of just keeping an eye on it, seeing what happens. But don't you think then that creators wouldn't even offer the print shop often? Wait, what's that in response to? Where's my seam? Here it is. Oh, were they interviewed on there? Well, that'd be interesting to see, to hear. Yeah, the Dibby emails are like very frequent and it is all sales. I've never been, people are really passionate about their patterns, but I've never been blown away by some of the photographs. So I've been like, oh, maybe. Because I asked last year about, maybe it was longer ago, I asked in a poll, you know, what jeans patterns do you guys like, or maybe what you want me to review. I don't know what it was, but and I wrote down. I got so many responses, and it was great. I still refer to that list to this day, and I even have a spreadsheet. I should do a video about this someday, because anytime I'm shopping for a jeans pattern, I refer to this spreadsheet. And they are on there because they have very inclusive sizing when it comes to jeans. But my problem is they don't look, like the fit looks, it looks okay to me. Like it has, nothing's bowled me over. And so, but people are super passionate about the fit of their patterns. So that makes me kind of intrigued. So I don't know. I've never sewn anything by that. I've sewn one pair of stretch shorts. They have like a little like loungewear set, I think, or something. And I have to say that those shorts would look really bad on me, but they're undershorts that I wear under dresses. Or wait, so don't you think then that creators wouldn't even offer the print shop often? I think where I'm hung up, Leia, is the word creators. Do you mean like YouTubers? Oh, they have translucent paper. Yeah, the My Body model, that was great because that was really huge in what's my word here? They were really great in being a proponent of size inclusivity. You know, it was really great. And you could get a little croaky that looked like you know, and if you are in a size category that never gets to see yourself on paper and have something as a guide to draw your body, no matter where you're at, whether you're petite and nothing's ever small enough for you, or you're at the other end of the size chart. And so that was really helpful for people. I never looked at their model to see, or their business to see like what it costs or anything like that. So I don't know anything about it, but I know like designers who really liked it. And I think a lot of them were like ambassadors for the program. So it's kind of a shame to see it going away just because it was kind of instrumental in making people of all sizes feel empowered, you know? It's always hard to have a business that is modeled after something that you most likely only need one time, right? I mean, granted, your body may change and you may want new croquis, but you might not go through the whole thing again. Oh, okay, so okay, so you think that, wait, let's see, but don't you think that could, oh, I see what you're saying, Leia. You're saying like, if people were like abusing it, then these people wouldn't use this model. They are forced. They have to use a PDF model, and it's because there is one printer left doing pattern printing on a big scale left in the world, practically. It is really hard to get your patterns printed if you want to do it on a big scale like that in an affordable format. Yes, you can probably ask one of these printers. As a small pattern company, you could probably have 100 printed or something like that, and that might last some of these smaller pattern companies a while. But if you're someone like, say, your Closet Core, they probably need it on a really huge scale, right? Or Cashmerette. And I don't know where they go and if they have run into this, but I think it's By Hand London that just did this whole blog. It's actually really fascinating to read about how the paper printing thing has been more narrow, and it's forced their hand to stop having printed patterns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean, Leia? So, all right, so here we are in the binding. I have this very narrow seam allowance at the neck here. Sorry, hearts, I know this doesn't look the greatest. This will be under my facing, though. I'm sick of trimming these little threads, so I'm just going to include them. All right, my favorite little tool is the awl. I just pull it over. This is also a great way to practice your binding, is binding your inside seams, because you're technically only going to see one side of the seam. So you can put the one that is your not strong suit, like for me, you know, it's going to be the underside, right? You could put it on the side that gets pressed open. Say this is the seam like this. It'll be pressed open like this. And the nice side is showing up, right? Yeah, I wonder, Mullen, I think like it's going to take them a while to release new patterns because who knows what went with Dibby when they sold it. If they were the pattern drafter and they no longer have a pattern drafter, they have to find a pattern drafter, hire a pattern drafter, have designs, you know, be ready, get onto the pattern drafter schedule. That could take a year. It literally could take a year to be realistic. But, and I haven't opened their emails in a while, but I wonder if they've explained what their plans are anywhere. I don't read blogs or anything, but maybe it'd be worth checking out and just kind of poking around. Maybe we can look at that on the Ask a Sew question show. I imagine if you were someone concerned about that, Leia, I think there would be the workaround you could do is you could have your own PDF printer and you printed out the pattern and sent it to your customers. Yeah, it's true, Leia. It's getting really hard to find the print only. And I have a lot of mixed feelings about that because truth be told, I really wish my pattern library was all print patterns because I would donate a lot of them. And you can't do that when it's PDF. I don't think that there should be a rule about that. I feel like I should be able to like print it out and donate it, you know? Because you could before. Oh, they did. Okay, Mullen, thanks. That's how I feel about video games, because I love having the disc copy of the game because my brother, I can give the game to him and he gives me his games, you know? I love that. You can also like sell them, but I don't do that. I love being able to share a game. Or say my husband wants to play a game, I can share it with him. I like that. Some games are only digital only, you know. Or I am impatient. That happens a lot. Or it's like a free download and it's only a free download. Oh yeah, Fiona, yeah. See, I'm not surprised by that. Like, I think that that's a really good strat, you know. I've seen people selling printed copies of their patterns and they will show like printing day and them folding. And like, these are like moderately sized pattern companies. I don't know who it was. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, you are doing that all by yourself. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, honestly, that's kind of a smart thing to do because then you can immediately gratify people with a printed copy, you know? And if you had your, say your envelopes printed at a local printer and then you had a wide format plotter that you printed your patterns and then you had a folder, because you can get a folder, because I know this person was talking about how they got a folder and what a big impact that made, but it was a big investment. And then you can make your own printed patterns. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying, like, say you want to do it on a large scale at one of those companies that does that, you know, like for Simplicity, McCall's, whatever. There's only one in the world now. So the Panini had a big effect on things like that. Ah, so true, Leah. A PDF printer. It depends on the size you get, Michelle. So when I had a blueprint plotter, at the time, I got it used and it was about $2,500. And now I actually think you can get them brand new for that because it's like, you know, how technology's gotten cheaper. The other way you can go, there's a lot of ways you can go about it, and I haven't researched it lately, so there's someone here that probably knows more than me. But you can also get a tabletop style, and it'll print. You can do large format printing because there's an architect here, and he has something like that. And I don't know how you would tile the pages, but his pages are pretty big. They're not the size you see set up for copy shops in the file, though. So there's probably like, you'd have to use something like PDF Stitcher or ink. What is that one called? Ink something, you know? So usually the kind that you want that does patterns that you get right now, which is the 33-inch by 48-inch, I think is a page, they consider it. That's like a blueprint plotter. And that's the size I had. So 36-inch wide plotter or printer. And plotting and printing is different. So you can price both of those options too. But you can get, like I said, used ones. And if you don't need color, you can save a lot of money. I worked somewhere where we had a pen plotter, and it was awesome because what we learned was that if you ran out of, we kept running out of ink. We were just like, why is the cartridge so small? And so one of the junior developers, he figured out that you could just put a Bic pen in it. And that's what we just started doing. We just put a ballpoint Bic pen on our pen plotter. And we hardly ever bought ink cartridges because we didn't want to wait for them. It was awesome. Oh, that's true, Leia. But, you know, it's like you can run out of space in your console, you know? And I really like being able to pass the game along. I don't like the whole thing of buying one for one person, you know? It's like you can sell them, you know? Yeah, Nancy, exactly. All right, so let's see how this looks. It was a floor model HP design jet. See, that's what I had. There you go. It's a floor model, so that means that it's used. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. See that? That looks better than where did my mouse go? I love how I cannot see. Oh, it's way up here. Than this. Look at that. Yeah, I had an HP design jet. The ink was pretty affordable. The paper is pretty affordable, but yeah, you have to buy both. Not used, just not on a table or desk. Oh, you said floor model, so that usually, to me, you mean like it's a standing thing, yeah. Floor model, yeah. I think a lot of these people get into it because they want to print their own patterns. And then they're like, well, maybe I'll print people's patterns to pay for my plotter. It's kind of smart, right? That thread back there. All right, we're ready to go. So also my design jet, it had a stand which was extra, and I got the stand, which was really nice because it had wheels and I could move it around, which I highly recommend if you're like got the space for it. Otherwise, if you have a big table, you can just set it up on a table, and you're gonna want it to be like, you know, up on a desk, not on the floor. I mean, you can put it on the floor, but you're gonna probably get sick of it on the floor. Yeah, because you also would probably have to be there holding the paper as it came off, because if it hits the floor and pushes up against the printing, you're going to have problems, you know. It needs to feed freely, in other words. So I gave away my design jet to someone in the stream, And it's just because it wasn't compatible with my computer. I don't know if she ever got it going, but it'd be kind of cool to know that. All right. While it is not a beautiful Hong Kong finish with perfectly evenly spaced binding, it's on there. Okay, so I don't even think I need to look at this, but we're now going to do this neck seam. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these little narrow pieces here and we're going to put them right sides together. And we're going to sew across this short seam right here. Oh, I need to change my thread again. Yeah, you don't think you'd ever spend that much on printing. How many patterns would that be? Someone do the math. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, like what else could you print, you know? Sorry. See, if you're someone drafting patterns in a CAD program, it's really helpful to have it. But you can't really make good markers with it, because that's another thing I needed. And I would usually, I know someone who professionally grades and prints markers and designs markers. What else does she do? But she does it on almost every CAD program. She has every CAD program. It's crazy. And then she has like 70-inch wide plotters, which prints the markers. And so sometimes I would print my markers, but would use so much of my paper, and I would have to tape them together down the middle, which I hated doing. So I would have her do it because it was like $9 a plot, you know, something like that. So, all right. So let me. Oh, I should say a marker is like a, you know, the cutting layout in your pattern that you buy. You have to do something like that in the garment industry too. It's a little different, but it's pretty much the same idea though, and it's called a marker. All right, so we're gonna do this seam allowance here, just 3/8 at the center back neck. That's what this little piece is, and now we have this little mouth here. You know, it's like hello, right there. And then we're going to sew this seam shoulder to shoulder. Oh, look at that. I could have actually taken a bigger seam allowance there. Well, let's see. How much could I take? Because I wouldn't mind a bigger seam allowance right there. Okay, let's just do a bigger seam allowance right there and blend it in with my one I did. You laughing at my mouth? Take these out. Otherwise it won't press open flat. And I don't really want like a lump under the neck facing, you know? You guys are so easily entertained sometimes. I love it. So I don't stream next week, but the week after I have stream set up to be anything goes. So I kind of wanted to get your feedback on that. I have in my bins an array of things to sew or fix. I want to fix my Upton dress, which ripped at the center front V. I kind of want to do that. The thing is, I don't want to spend a whole stream doing that. So if I look at that and I feel like it's going to be really involved, I may not do it unless you guys want to just see what my plan is. But like at the V-neck, it's a lined bodice. It ripped right there in the laundry. So I need to fix it. And I can't wear it right now. I want to. Even though summer's pretty much over now. So I have that. That's like a thing I need to fix. I have a pair of Ash jeans cut out and ready to sew from start to finish. I have some of the bags that I'm going to be making and selling soon. I have some of those, the accordion needle case, and then a few bags. Let's see. What else do I have that you might be interested in? Oh, the sports shorts by Friday Pattern Company. I have those. What is this right here? You see this little thing here? Is this like... Oh, that is thread. Okay, good. I was like, did I catch this? Wasn't too happy about that. All right. All right, so there we go. Not worried about that little white thread there because the neck facing is going to cover it up. All right, so now we're going to sew this neck seam here. We're going to go shoulder to shoulder right here. And I can't remember if you press this shoulder seam open, but I'm not going to. I think you want to keep it, the shoulder seam pressed to the back. Let's see what we think here. If we sewed this seam here and it was pressed open, I think that would push up against the front there. So let's keep it pressed towards the back. All right. Match up the center here. Press this seam open. Man, flannel, it's so grabby, you know. Are you, Malin? Oh, it's almost Ash jeans season here. I'm gonna go from the center back to the shoulder. Just, I like to kind of sometimes feel it out, you know? Like I like to start in the easy area and then go towards the trickier area because we need to enclose this little, this is where I clipped into the neckline right here. You see my little clip? Boop, right there, and that's the shoulder seam. So we need to make sure we get all this. And look at this, I could just still taking this in a little more. This isn't very forgiving either. Let's see if I can get that to ease in. It doesn't feel like it. Oh, this is the, actually, this is the dart I could see is starting to come apart. Look. They are woven. We'll make it a touch bigger. You'd like to see the bags? Okay, Randa. Okay, cool, Shani. They're woven, and what my plan to do with them is, let's check this side here. This side's okay. This dart's fine. My plan is I want to make them a little simpler to sew. Not that they're hard, like it's a very straightforward pattern, but I'm thinking simple as far as like, oh, I'm going to make the waist built onto the short, not a separate waist casing. And then I'm gonna bind using my binding machine. Cheater, cheater. Those are my two things. And I think if you put the waist as part of the pattern, it will save so much time in the eventual sewing. Let's get rid of these threads here. Threads always make our sewing just look pretty bad. All right, let me see how I did here. Ooh, I have a little bit of threads coming out that seam right there. And this one's okay. This little thread is, I think, okay. Let's check. But this one is not. So what I like to do when I see that is I open up the seam and I just see if there's threads from the back side going to the right side. And this little juncture is going to be pretty hard, but we can see if we can pull out some of these threads there. See that? Oh yeah. It's hard to see though. Let's see if that helped. Nope, it didn't help. I'm going to take out, ooh, I'm kind of nervous too, but I'm going to take this out because I don't want to just make it bigger. You know what I mean? That's not always the solution with these little things here. This fabric is so thready that if I keep doing that, I'll end up losing some of the collar height and it won't lay right. So let's just take this seam out really carefully. It's the little gadget I was using the other day. Hi, Vestigia. Nah, I'll just include it, Mullen, like the free range slacks are. Unless I don't know about something about the pattern. The Helene jeans. Oh, who's that by? That's so familiar. I feel like someone has made those here. Excuse me. I'm just taking out this back stitch here. All right, there we go. All right, let's get rid of all of this. See these threads? It's just threads. Make sure, that's a good step to do that I could have done is, especially on this kind of fabric, is make sure that you just sweep all of these threads and stuff to the wrong side, you know? God, that I feel like someone just brought that up in the guild, Lucas. I can't remember who that was though. All right. One little thread that I can trim. That is okay. Anna Allen. Oh, those are the Anna Allen. Okay. Maybe that's why they're familiar, is because I looked at her jeans this summer. All right, let's do this on the facing now. Our facing looks pretty cool. All right, so we're going to do, let's check our, I have a feeling that this facing is going to give me problems because I interfaced it. You know what I mean? Oh, I haven't clipped this one yet. So we're going to clip this. I'll do it from this side so you can see it. Clip to that seam right there. Dang, Shem, I just realized your daughter is sick and she just started school. I feel like you're now going to be on that whole getting every little thing, every little bug, new germs, you know? What I don't get is this right here. You see this? Was I supposed to pull this like this? And then sew it? I do want to look that up. They do show that lining up. Spread it open to fit the seam lines. Spread it open to fit the seam lines. Because see, when you just do this, right? Look at how much different. It's really obvious to see on this, right? You have to like hoik this up here. If this were clipped, maybe. Maybe. All right, let's do this center back neck here. And we'll just look at where that lines up to the notch there. It's It's only bad if you end up doing it, Aisha. Yeah, Shem. Yeah, mine too. But then school, it's just different. And it's okay. It doesn't mean anything. You know? It's good for them. So this isn't very accurate in the picture here. Do you see this? Because if you just do this, right? I mean, maybe, yeah, you can't just pull this down. I guess you could. Right? Me too, Danny. My gosh, that I got so sick for the first few years. And then I've hardly been sick since. I don't know. Like, you can't just pull this down. If that's the seam line, where's the seam line on this side? And it's not like I didn't line this up accurately, because remember, this was clipped, right? If anything, that would have meant that this didn't get lined up in the right spot. But it was already really wide, remember that? Oh well, I'm just gonna do it the way I did the neck. You know what I mean, jelly beans? And that means I'm just kind of going to that point right there, which doesn't feel right. I have to say, it doesn't really feel right. Like that. Oh gosh, Aisha. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I cannot see over here. I'm just going to do it from this side. I didn't want to sew it from this side, but I'm going to. Yeah, I feel like every time she switched schools, that would happen a little bit. Okay. Again, with the little thread right there. Oh, I didn't catch my hole there. Very good. Oh, I did not. Look at that. Okay. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm not sure about the whole spread it apart to fit thing, though. So I'll pull that over like that. She probably will, but maybe they won't affect you, Mullen, you know? You never know. And that looks pretty good. This side I'm just gonna make sure. I can't tell if those are threads. So we're just gonna blend it in. It's all hidden in there anyway, right? Okay. That doesn't feel that great. All right, so our next step, center front seam to facing and understitch. Oh, okay, yeah. So now we're just gonna attach this facing to our jacket, right sides together. So line up your center. I love how I'm giving you instructions. I never do that, do I? Like you're sewing it with me. I don't think any of you are sewing this. All right, so just line up my center backs here. I'm gonna start from the center back and go down and then flip it and do the other side. I think that's always better with these really long seams to make sure, you know, and then I really wanna make sure my seam allowance is not like too tight or anything, because this is that center front edge. Here's the V of the V-neck coming. Everything's lining up nicely, so that's good. Hey Martina, how's it going? You're fine. I haven't actually sewn a whole lot, but I have done some pretty big steps. Let's get all these little threads to the raw edges. I mean, look at all these threads I have here, you know. We're supposed to get rain here tomorrow, and I'm so excited for like the next 3 days, which is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. And when I got up to my office, I could smell smoke. There's not a fire close by here, but there's a massive one about an hour and a half away. Thankfully, that's my daughter's not going that way. Oh, that's right. This yeah. I want to do this. I should have sewn these two together. So we're gonna take this apart. This I might be doing differently than their instructions tell you to do, but I'm gonna put the facing to the hem here, just like this. Like this. I'm gonna trim this little tag of binding there. Just get it not to be a lump. And now I'm gonna continue sewing the center front seam. I say press your seam allowance down. I see people press it open, but I don't know what they do when they get to the edge over here. So I'm gonna press it down. Just like that, right? That's your center front. And then when this is right side out, it's gonna look like this. This is so interesting they have it like this, because this isn't how you would normally do this. I don't think I sewed it the same way, but I'm not sure how else you can get it to where you don't have the seam going up to the center front there. Oh, no, this is how they do it. I did it how they did it. There's a slightly better way, but we can't do it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I bet, Derry, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna leave this right side out because I also want to make sure I get the right and left the same length as one another. So what we can do is fold it along the center, right? And then, or actually we can just line up the V as well, like this. And then when we get down here, this is when the notch is really helpful. The hem notch, which I'm not sure I left on the front, right? Right there. So as long as I fold there, that fold looks way deeper, right? Let's see how it goes. All right, we're gonna start back at the center back neck again. There we go. Could not get that, could not grab that. This is a flannel. It's a very lightweight for a jacket. The flannel would be perfect for a button down or, you know, like a shirt. It's like a classic flannel, very nice flannel actually. So it's gonna be a pretty lightweight jacket. I was even kind of thinking about it as like, what if it were like a flannel, a fancy flannel over a shirt? And then the fabric, it's from Hearts Fabric. I got some amazing flannels there actually recently this summer. I showed them the other day. They're these plaids and a solid, and they're so nice. This one right here is item number 103127. It's the flannel twill in the wine color, 57 inches wide, 100% cotton. So it's got 2 different threads weaving it, a black and then the wine color. So it's got this kind of two-tone thing going on. That's why you see all these black threads coming off of it. Trying to get all these threads to just be... All right. The good news is, I will tell you a little cheat. If you don't get your left and right perfectly lined up, because it's a V-neck, you can kind of fake it. Yeah, Terry. That sounds fun. All right. So again, I'm gonna sew across the bottom here. So we're just putting this short edge to the raw edge down here. And I gotta make sure that it's going to fold right there. And it's not. So if we wanted to fold it there, what seam allowance are we talking about? Something more like... So if this were the fold, it's quite a bit different. Maybe I should double check before I just go cutting it. Let's see. This probably looks like a hot mess to you guys, but it's actually looking pretty good. We're about to see some big differences in a second. All right, let's line this up. I'm thinking now that I've sewn the seam, it kind of drew it up a little bit, and so I want to accommodate for that. My facing is matching like really perfectly, and then the notch is maybe 1/8 of an inch lower than that, like the fold, than where I notched it before. It's not much different. All right, so we can trust that. So if we folded it along that notch there, what would be our seam allowance? Something like that. I can still, that looks like the regular seam allowance. Let's try it. Yeah, I mean, this has been kind of kicking around in here, you know, getting handled a lot. But yeah, it's gonna do that. A lot of yarn dyed flannels do that. Plaids, things like that. It's kind of the nature of the beast. Sometimes I'll put it in the dryer before I give it as a gift to just kind of get rid of any threads I couldn't see, you know. Oh yeah, I knew I did that wrong. Oh my gosh, that was so silly. I was like, yeah, that works. No, that doesn't work. We need to just trim this a little shorter. What are you guys are so quiet today. What are you guys all sewing? Talk to me. I feel like I had something to tell you guys. I didn't tell you about my sewing related Lizzo dream, and then Rachel messaged me. She goes, I had a Lizzo dream too. Oh no, Libby. Well, I mentioned that when you asked me, right? Didn't I? Yeah, because you have an industrial similar to this one, right? You could use it. I'm going to use it on those sports shorts, the Friday Pattern Company ones. I planned to do this while Cricket was in town. So kind of a bummer that I didn't get to it. But I can mail them to her. I haven't visited her since she moved because my husband did for Christmas last year. And then I stayed with the pets. Oh, nice, Shasha. That's awesome. Or Aisha. You having a sale? Neckties. 2 pairs of undies. Been staring at me for 2 months. Undies staring at anybody is not a good thing. Finally finished the Datura blouse. Orange top with triangle. Yes. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yes, you're going to get paid for the shipping. I mean, it's sometimes cheaper than adding to get the free shipping, right? I am being so silly about this right now. This would normally just pop into my head to do the math on this. But because I'm in front of people, I can't do math. It's just a weird thing. Okay, right there. You're sewing, okay, Emerson Shorts by True Bias. You've cut a bunch of projects, waiting for the inspirations to start them. Sewing a shirt for your wife. Oh, and that blue floral, nice, okay. The one that was Monet inspired, right? No, another dress for your toddler, same pattern as the monster one, a simple farm print, oh cute. Independent season, that would be the thing. Oh, cool, Aisha, I like it. I like the Madras ties, that'll be so cool. You sew the bias pre-folded on the raw edge. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people like to do bias like that. You mean like they do this, right? They pre-fold it, sew it with a seam, and then this edge is already turned. You just have to turn it and edge stitch it down. I don't know why, Michelle, but it's really funny because I have been in situations where, like, say the sorry, let me just figure this out once and for all. Dang it. Let me figure this out. So say like a customer would come up and say, how much blah blah blah. It would, like, if they had just like left this question sitting there and I saw it, it would pop into my head. But the minute someone asks me, I'm like, I need my calculator, you know? And then say we would be with a contractor, right? And we're figuring things out with the contractor and we're floating all the numbers and everything. My husband sometimes will just turn to me because he just expects me to be like, boink, I just know the number. I don't know why, I just know it. But as soon as I'm not, like, if I'm kind of zoned out a tiny bit and thinking about what they're thinking and I don't realize they're about to turn to me for a number, and then they do and I look, I'm like, I don't know. It's this really weird thing. I don't know. It's not consistent or reliable. Sounds like a really great skill until you really need it, and then it doesn't happen. So, oh, hi Tiana, you're making the Lander pants for the first time. Nice. I think Aisha's making those too right now. Your daughter's flying in from Texas. You haven't seen your son in 3 years. Oh, that'll be so exciting. Oh. You're cutting your prayer. Oh, yeah. You know, I forgot. I got to figure out what I'm going to do on that. We're doing a sandhill sling stream in the guild on Thursday. It's free, too. I got to have a sandhill sling ready to go. Because I have some potential fabrics, and I think I'm going to ask my mom if she wants one. All right, so that's it. Okay, so now we're going to understitch this. I took forever to do that, sorry. And I think you understitch this whole thing. I'm going to. I'm going to start at the seam down here. It'll be a nice, you know, like starting and stopping point. So I'm just pressing the seam allowance towards the facing and understitching. Oh, I bet I need to clip. And you know what? It's better to clip it and then press it, then do the understitching so that the little clipped edges can splay out. All right, so you see all these threads right here that I missed getting into the seam? Don't cut them. Just go to the inside of your seam allowance here like this, and then just pull them to the inside. If your seam allowance is big enough and you can see it, I recommend that. You messed up. Wait, from the ones that we were working on together? That's a bummer. Or you want to start your sandhill, but don't feel like shopping for hardware now. I think, I want to say you only need one of the pieces of hardware to sew your whole bag. I can't remember what it is, but I feel like it's the D-ring. Hey Terry, how's it going? It's Zaxby's Day. Oh, I didn't, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm getting to the V right here, and you really can't go through the V, so I'm gonna clip this right now. And I kind of do like a low, kind of flatter clip for a V-neck like that. Let's look at the rest of our neck now. Well, it's not really a neck. We don't really need to clip this curve, but we do need to clip this other side of the V-neck here. Oh, that's a bummer, Aisha. I know what you mean. I feel like that I get into those, and it's because it's like everything requires something. I'm like, okay, I'll do this. Oh, that's right, I need to do this thing. This fabric is going to be kind of thready for this. It could have benefited from being overlocked, even though it's faced. It's just the D-ring, yeah. So, ow, if you have the, do you have one D-ring, Michelle? Like one metal D-ring that'll match what you're gonna get? Because I think that's all you need in order to make, you are, Terry? To make it. Is this curved? Do I need to clip? I'm going to clip this neckline. I'm paranoid. I'm going to clip it real quick. I know I have it under the needle, but I'm going to clip it. This is why pattern companies would never let me sew their stuff, because I do stuff like this on camera. I don't do it all proper, you know. But let me tell you, this is what happens. This is what people do at home. We just got to face up to it and deal with the consequences. And that's why I'm here. I show you how to deal with the consequences of doing it in a backwards order. Yeah, right, Aisha? I know. It's hence why I have bins of stuff, right? If you sew it in fabric, you don't need the webbing. Yeah. If you sew it in fabric, you won't need the webbing. All right, I'm going to just try and help that splay out as I sew it. I keep feeling my little cut edges flip to the side. Okay. That is very satisfying scissor clip, I agree. I thought the same thing. Oh, is that where yours is stuck, Fiona? I know you've been waiting a while for that. It's where the rubber meets the road. Hey, Jan, how's it going? Yeah, see? I don't even like saying it's like real life or realistic. It's just like, this is what we do. Yeah, you wonder if it's right or not. Yeah, you know, that whole thing of like, is this right or not? Oh, I can't clip the neckline after I sew it. That I would not do. That's crossing the line of what I would do. It's good to know where that line is, right, Fiona? All right. Understitch the center front here, top of the V. And you know, when you get to those V's, like this is a pretty gentle V. You might be able to get a little closer to the edge. I think it's not worth it because you might distort the V. I just ran out of thread, like 1 inch into that seam, 2 inches. That's annoying, but I do have a bobbin. I say just suck it up and stop before. And I feel like that is one thing that would bug me when I was sewing a long, long time ago is like when you're understitching a collar and you can't get all the way to the corner. I really couldn't stand that I couldn't get to the corner. I'd be like, someone just hasn't figured it out. No, I'm going to, you know, like so egotistical, right? But, and when I would do it and I would force it and try and get it all the way to the edge, it usually meant like I would catch the fabric from the other side or it would be distorted a little bit, like sewn a little bit wonky. And so I just learned like this is just how it is. And so then the thing that annoyed me was if it wasn't symmetrical from one corner to the other, like one was 3/4 from the edge and the other was 5/8 from the edge, you know. So I've let that go. I've moved on from that being the thing that keeps me up at night, you know. You're procrastinating on sewing a fly front. Do you have access to this month's skill building session, Jan? It's all about that. I haven't seen anybody talking about it. So I'm hoping it's helpful. All right, I'm just gonna go down to this seam here where I sewed the facing right there. That leaves the thread. Where's my thread I need to clip? It's up here. This one here. All right. Get that V a little bit turned better. All right, we're getting to the sleeves now, but I think I'd like to just press this a little bit, if you guys are down for that. Let's see how this neck is looking before we go any further, you know? So this is what it's looking like right now. See that? And we need to stitch this neck seam to this neck seam. That's interesting. I thought this was actually going to be easier to do than it looks now. Oh, do you press these seams down and stitch them like that? I think you do. But then this means this seam won't be pressed up into the collar. I think you're better served if you stitch in the ditch, honestly. Yeah, I think you are. We'll see. We'll check it out. Oh, look at that. Exactly what I was talking about. I got too close and I caught it. Or something. I need a seam rip. Oh, here we go. This will work. Or was that? It's like one thread. There we go. That's it. One stitch. All right. Let's press this. Get it laying pretty nicely, and then we'll see that neck, what we want to do. I haven't trimmed. I have trimmed this corner, so let's turn it. Let's trim this thread here. Yep, these are all loose. All right. Really jazzes up the inside, doesn't it? Having the binding. My tension was off on this bind. I mean, I can't tell, like, it might not be, it could be an optical illusion, but to me, it doesn't matter. Even if it's just an optical illusion, it looks like my tension on this is not that great. Which is kind of a bummer, because that's the side that shows to the inside, you know? All right, so I pressed that shoulder seam to the back. I could press this one to the front and offset it. So if you're doing something like this and you're lining up to this edge here, prioritize the neckline. If this doesn't line up perfectly, just trim it. Get your neckline looking nicer, you know. But yeah, this seam allowance, I'm going to press it going up into the neck. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that. So let's clip this. I can't see chat, by the way, sorry. I should just bring my phone over so I can see it. Oof, I gotta be careful there. I was cutting in where the binding was, and I started to like press a little harder, and that's when you start getting to the danger point where you cut right through your neckline, you know? When you do that extra, and the dart, you know, it kind of makes you press harder with your scissors, and then you're gonna go right through. There's no coming back from that. And go all the way up. This makes me nervous right here. Get way in there. Okay. All right, let's press this up into the neck. What is that? Oh, my binding's off right there. How did I not notice that? Dang, I'm such a bad sewist lately. Boy. All right, so this one I'm pressing forward, right? Let's press this open, actually. It looks pretty good right here. Let's press that open. Press this one open. Yeah, my binding machine just missed that whole curve right there, which I can fix pretty easily. And then let's press this one. Let's see if we can we press this open? Okay, we can. All right, that works. The dart is a little thick right there to do so, but wish I had a dryer here so I could put this in, you know, or thread magnet. They need like a statically charged thread magnet, you know? A thread wand. Come on, please let me open this. There we go. So this is what's going to be seen from the right side. So let's press it this way. What was that right there? Is that okay? I think that's okay. I don't like the way this lines up. Okay, that's the side I pressed already. I'll be back in front of chat in just a second. I need my ironing board for this project. It's so big. I wouldn't think of flannel as being kind of a wrinkly fabric, but this jacket really is making me think otherwise. All right, this is the corner I haven't clipped yet of the hem. Okay. As much as my sewing looks kind of like a mess, it actually is looking pretty nice. So we're going to be okay. All right, what are you guys talking about? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, you've talked a lot. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of good. I like that. Oh, no, yeah, no worries, Jan. You have a question about your sleeve size. It's a bit tight around the armhole when I put my arms forward. Wonder if I should make the armhole bigger or smaller. Where's the tightness you feel it, Michelle? Is it in the front right here? Or is it across your back? If it's a sleeveless top, you cannot do a sleeve lift. Looking a little like your majorette. They need to figure out where it feels tight. Oh, that's cool, Jan. Yeah, if you scoop it a little, your armhole a little bit more. This, are you asking me? Jan, it's flannel. Front is where front and back yokes. Wait, the shoulder seam? If you make the armhole, I need to make yokes longer. If that makes smaller, it won't have, I don't understand what that means. Let's see here. The issue is where there is front and back yokes. Okay, they both have yokes. Okay, so if I make the armhole larger, you need to make the yokes longer. Thread vomit. So if you're talking about, I know Shim's like, here we go. Distraction. I'll just show you really quick. I promise it'll be quick. So if your armhole, all right, this is the front, this is the back, and we'll say that there's a yoke and a yoke, right? Okay. It's such a bad perspective, but I think you know what I mean. We'll say that's the back yoke. Your armhole can get bigger lots and lots of different ways, Michelle. You can go like this, make the circle bigger like this, and then just tape all your pattern pieces together and trim them. If you're talking about making it deeper like that, that's different, right? If you're talking about only making it scooped out bigger on the sides like that, you can do that. There's a lot of ways that you can make your armhole bigger. That's why I say figure out where it's tight. That's okay. If you tape your pattern pieces together and just trim them off all together, and I highly recommend you do that anytime you're making armhole changes. Tape your pieces together so that you can get your transitions really nice and smooth. Because you don't want to like have it to where your yoke has a point like this, right? That's your that's your shoulder seam. You don't want a point right there, right? You want to tape your pieces together and then get a nice smooth transition. You're engrossed in inseam, French seam pockets. My video. That's hilarious. Okay. So you're supposed to pick these up and you're supposed to sew these neck seams together like this. Just sandwich them and sew them in the seam allowance together just to tether your neck. But if like me, and they tell you to put a loop in your neck seam right here if you want at one point, so that's why it reminded me I wanted that. If you do that, if you press your seam allowance down, this is what's going to happen to your neck loop. It's going to flip up, and you can't get it to not do that unless you push it down and then tack it somehow, and then you're tacking your neck. It's just like, no. So what you could do is we could stitch all this in the ditch or hand sew it. I know. Hand sew it. Saremy won't do that. I could press this better. I can get this thread here out of the way. This is a little, I'm going to press that a little better right there. All right. Press the seam up into there. The problem with the stitch in the ditch is that it may show on the inside. That's the risk you're going to run. But you also don't need the whole darn seam. You just need to tack in it a few places. So if you want, you could do it kind of in like over here. You know, I'm going to do this over here so that it's a little more strategic. Away from my loop, right? So I'm going to pull the seam apart and just stitch in the seam there. Before I get to where I can feel my loop under there. And so you can't see that on the right side. Well, you can see it a little bit, but not really. And then we'll do the side too. This isn't very nice right here, this little part. I really like the way that looks. You know? I said that, Michelle. I said you could hand stitch it. That I feel like $35 a yard is the normal price for Liberty of London. Oh, okay, so maybe I'm wrong, 45. Yeah, exactly. the online store, it's called We Are the Fabric Store, right? Right here is where I want to be. And then that's what it looks like on the inside. See right here and right there. So this one's pretty high up. So you might want to do it by hand. I'll think about that. I have time. I can take that out and do it again. I could probably get it a little better. But then at least my loop hangs straight down. It's still secured, you know. Okay. We are at the armhole portion, sleeve and hem. Sleeve and hem, that's all we have. We have buttons and buttonholes actually too. I better get a move on here. Because we were going to do the, look at how much that hangs off. We were going to do the covered buttons. I didn't, Michelle, but I'm going to do it later when I have the right color thread on. But thank you. I haven't forgotten it, though. It won't matter right now because it's not going to get caught in a seam or anything, you know. I'll still be able to access it. It's a lot of jacket. Okay, yeah, try that. Just trying to see if this is nice and flat, you know. It's so much bigger. Let's pin it at the center back here. No. See, the thing is that the facing doesn't have darts or any shaping. So you actually may be able to keep it lined up and loose. So if I kept this, just not at the shoulder though. The shoulder, you're going to want that to meet, okay? So let's experiment here. But down here, if you let this line up to the armhole like this, right? And you have this looseness, that's okay. As long as it's not a huge amount, because it'll give you a little bit of movement. That's a lot. I'll bet it's supposed to be like that, but let's double check it. Okay. Place the bottom of the front facing collar face to face to the neck of the back lining and pin. Oh, this is the pinning, the lining. All right. Where's the sleeve? Oh, here we go. I really wish I could find what I'm looking for, but I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I'd like to, Randa. I have the Amelia bomber jacket by Wardrobe by Me. That's what it's called, right? That's what I was thinking, Barbara. I just want to make sure because it seems like a lot. So they say to put that loop centered mid-back. I'm not sure if they mean like lower or if they just mean, because they call the whole back seam mid-back. So that might be what they mean. Okay, here it is right here. Fold the, okay. Iron mid-front from the side of the facing along the facing around the neck. Huh. Sorry. I'm not reading this word for word, so I'm just not finding it. But I feel like, wouldn't that be too much? Because then what'll happen is you'll have this bulk under there. You know what? I didn't take allergy medicine today. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. Pick a good pattern, Shim. Yeah, this has got to be what that is, because look at how much it is. It's a lot. I'll keep it lined up to the edge. We'll just stick with it. Yeah, pick a good pattern, Shim. Pick a pattern that we've heard of from a reputable pattern company. No, Barbara, it's not. The inner facing is, this facing was interfaced. It's not stretched at all. It's like so nice and flat. Binding the facing was way better. All right, let's do our sleeves. I'm taking way too long. I have the belt too. Oh my gosh, this is taking way too long. We're gonna overlock these. All right, so let's find our right sides here. The gold coat from Thread Theory. I've never heard of that. I'm just teasing you. Oh my gosh, 5 meters. Yeah, because did they sell by the whole meter? You didn't realize? You were trying for 2.5? I've done that too. I feel like it's a ploy, you know? All right, so this is the front, and this is the back. This one goes to you, and this one goes to you. All right. I don't know, Shim. I was just teasing you. I've heard of Thread Theory. They have a peacoat, don't they? A peacoat pattern, is that it? It's just not called peacoat. I love that you can have a peacoat because that is not something you see ever on the west coast of California. You might in Washington state, but not, it's just not cold enough here, you know? And if you're somewhere like snowy, that's that cold, it's not what you'd wear. So that's kind of cool. I love that you get that kind of like a regional specific garment that we can't really wear a whole lot here. All right, there's that one. And then this one here. Oh, yeah, Shim. I bought some really nice blue flannel from Hearts, and so I was gearing up for my Christmas sewing for some gifts, and I bought one of them. Oh no, I bought one of the flannels. I bought double the amount to make 2 shirts, and then I bought a chambray, same thing. And I realized that who I had planned for the flannel shirt, I've already made them a solid blue flannel shirt. I guess I could make me one. I haven't made myself a flannel in a really long time. I kind of want a flannel shirt that isn't the standard kind, but has some shaping, like with princess seams or darts or something. I don't want it to look like it has that. I just want it to have that shaping so it fits really nice, because I love the Archer and I wear those a lot, but you know, let's be honest, it's a little bit of a boardier fit for a reason, you know. So all right, so let's overlock this, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a help here and say, which one's the front here? Front, wait, this is the front? That's the bottom. Why isn't the front and the back marked on this? There's an easing stitch and an easing stitch. What the heck? This is the side seam right here, this notch. Oh well, okay, fine. I'll just overlock these any old way. Wild, Wild West. All right. Yeah, I'm overlocking. I'm not gonna bind the armhole seams. I don't want to really add to the bulk of them, and it's flannel, you know. Gold Stream Peacoat. Storm Flap. All right, so why can't I tell the front from the back? Why is this armhole so small? Ooh. Okay, so this is really strange. Okay, no, that looks okay. You see the sleeve shape now? So this is a two-piece sleeve, and then this is the underarm seam right here. It should be, and this is the cap. So these don't line up with it, so you have to look at that oval there. All right, so why can't I tell the front from the back sleeve though? Because I did mark all that. Remember? Pocket. You. Come on. Give me the sleeve, please. Oh. Yeah, it's not marked on there. What the heck? That's the lining. All the lining pieces. Whole body. Back sleeve. Yeah, but that's not just the back sleeve. That's the underarm. Don't say front sleeve. Don't you dare say front sleeve. The sleeve has the front and the back on all pieces, so there's no front and back sleeve. All right, fine. So this is the front sleeve. So this goes to the front. All right. I'll look at it that way. So that'll work. All right, so we're gonna put in an easing stitch. I'm gonna set the sleeve in, and I think I'm gonna press these seams toward the underarm piece, the back, as they call it. Why do you blame me? Man. I don't mean to do it. It drives me crazy that I do that. I think it's like, you know how like when you, say you have a computer thing you have to always do, and every single time you always do one little aspect of it wrong even though you know. And it's just because you've done it so many times wrong. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna, I wonder how much, I bet this doesn't ease much. I have a sneaky suspicion it doesn't ease much. Let's check it before I spend all this time with that. Here's an armhole. And wind is a way of life. I got everyone. That's so funny you say that, since I feel like I was late to that. Very late to French seaming. I did it just so that everyone didn't have to have an overlock when they joined my stream to sew something, you know? And then I've kind of gradually been like, oh, I like the way my garment feels with it. It just feels super sturdy. It feels, I just really like it. Those are the garments I like the most, I can tell. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of ease, but there's some. You get colder than parts of Sweden? Oh my gosh. Vintage Finnish linen from the fabric store in New Zealand. I did. I made it easy to understand. Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. I don't think the French call it that, funnily. You know you're initiated when she picks on you, right? You need all the jackets, Randa. Is it cold where you live? I like making jackets too, but there's not much of a point here. All right, let's just add a little bit more. I'm trying to remind myself that I'm not French seaming this sleeve. I actually like that. I find it easier. Funnily, I think that if you have trouble setting in a sleeve, French seaming it is easier. And I'm not just saying, I hate it when people say it's easy to do. You know, if it's hard for you, it's hard for you, you know. There's a lot of ways something can be hard. It could be the way you think about it, the language around it, you know, the steps. There's a lot of ways something can be kind of difficult for someone, right? So I think, though, that if you struggle with them or getting in all that fullness, that the best way to do it is with a French seam, because then you don't have to worry about the tucks. If you're someone who likes to use 2 seams of easing, I recommend doing a French seam. I don't use 2 seams of easing because well, I don't find them necessary to use the 2, because you're not gathering. You just want a little bit of ease tightened up in there. Like, see, I'm just kind of pulling it tight. I'm having trouble too because this seam had like a weird little thread vomit thing, and the other one's going through a seam. So I'm having to use just this side. But, and I know, and this isn't to diss people's method where they like to use 2 rows and stitch down the center. But I've never done it that way before, and I would caution people doing it, because if you ever sew on a fabric that's not forgiving to remove that second seam, it's going to be kind of a bummer. You're going to get a really nice looking sleeve, but then you're going to have all these pick holes. And some fabrics just really aren't very friendly to us over picking out a seam, you know. All right, so I'm going to line this up. This better be how it goes. I mean, look at that. That seam just went to that notch. This notch went to that. I'm feeling pretty good that this is how it goes in here. That's good. That's good notching, you know. Rain's sideways. It was cold when I lived in Humboldt. For me, it was cold. And I think that's because it's, you know, it's usually 100% humidity there. So even if it's not raining, it's 100% humidity, you know. It also doesn't get hot there. So 100% humidity there isn't as terrible as somewhere where it gets really warm. Oh, that's a bummer, Mullen. All right. This facing, because of that slack in there, it feels really funny. Okay. And look, I don't even use pins really. I use them to line up like the key spots like that, you know. I think that's really helpful for me. But you can. Let me get rid of some of this. Let's see, where am I at here? This one goes to here, right? So yeah, we can get rid of a little bit of this easing stitch. I did do too much. I knew I would. I knew there wasn't going to be much. No way, Michelle, really? Oh my God. I'm kind of stalled out on my whole adventure with getting contacts right now. I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest. And I just didn't really like how the office went about trying to help me do it. I didn't really feel like they really wanted me to or something. I don't know. I just felt kind of left to my own devices, you know? There's a lot going on with this armhole with that facing in there. I should have stitched it down. I recommend doing that. I meant to do it and then I just forgot because I started getting overwhelmed with how many steps I have left and the time. Because I have a stream at 4, or a Zoom at 4. But nobody's been showing up to it. So maybe I don't have to worry about it. Okay. That would be fine. I'm not hurt by that at all. I get a lot done when that happens. And today is my last day with my daughter, so I'm like, we're having dinner together. Don't you dare make plans. Oh man, that facing, it just really pushes against the thing there, the seam. I couldn't figure out what that was. Okay. Well, there's a master Zoom today at 4. I don't think that's yours, Shim. I know who signed up for it, and one of them has been coming to a different one. Yeah, no worries, you guys. Seriously. I'm not complaining. I just want to be ready, you know? Yeah, I know. We actually haven't seen you much lately, Mullen, huh? But is it that, like, I mean, like, now that kids are back in school and stuff, I think it'll calm down or people get into new routines. Although, like, sports and stuff like that, that adds a lot. Yeah, Walter said that. I hope he does show up. You'll be there, Ray? You're coming this one? Okay, cool. Isn't going to Chico. Oh, you mean the school? No, no. She wouldn't go there. Not that it's a bad school, but you know, she had that definite like, oh, I want to get out of town vibe, you know? Which was fine by me. Like I was the same way. I totally related to that feeling. Oh, okay, cool. Then you guys, the three of you will be there. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Those are the three. Some of you are signed up for more than one, so I'm never sure like which one you're gonna be at. I like knowing though, because sometimes I'm like, okay, it's been 20 minutes. What if I end it and someone comes and I'm not there? Still party school? I don't know. Not like it used to be. They definitely, the whole town clamped on that. Yeah, and you know, she just didn't want to be, she just wanted to go away, you know. I'm going to stitch this down this time first, and then that way I can get rid of the pins. It'll be a little easier to manage. Get my other sleeve on there, and then we can overlock those seams. All right, I need some ideas too for my Let's Be Honest series. How far is she from me? She's in the next state. Yeah, Michelle, it was really bad here. You will, Olivia, cool. Yeah, so what Michelle's talking about is that the school here was like one of those party schools, I guess, and back in its day. It was so bad that they like don't even have certain town annual events anymore. It was so bad because it would happen. All the students during break, like when there's like an Easter break or something like that and there's no school, they're not allowed to stay in the dorms. They kick them out. It's kind of crazy. They had to do drastic things. I was like, geez. It was full. Well, but you don't not come to a Zoom because it looks like it's full, because I mean like and you're one of those people, Ray, that you've RSVP'd for more than one and other people have too. So sometimes it'll look like there's more than 5, but there's not. And it's because, well, I just never know. You guys got to police yourselves. I'm not going to do it. Unless they start becoming too full every time. Night, Malin. Nice to see you. Sleep well. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. I'm really glad I wasn't here when it was like that. All right, so I'm gonna put this other sleeve in there. And again, the way I'm lining this up, I'm hoping this is right. The notch that's on the sleeve down here, down low, goes to the underarm seam. Better. Actually, the seam needs to go this way. No, that is the, yeah, I'm pressing it towards the back. Did you hear that? And then this notch right here goes to the seam on the sleeve. So it should just naturally all line up, you know? Horse racing is a thing that... Yeah, they really wreck the town when they move out at the end of the school year. It's pretty sad. Whole couches just on the curb as if garbage is going to pick them up. It's kind of a shame. There's a big, yeah, it's like a big part of their culture. And, yeah, it is pretty bad. I'm not going to say it's not, because I think all schools still have that element, you know. But it doesn't take over the town, I think, like it used to. Because that was the problem. Come on, get over here, Notch. I want you to match that shoulder seam. There's really not a whole lot of easing in this. Horse race weekend. I've never heard that. I just was shocked when I first moved here and I learned that they kick them out for the holidays and stuff. And I was thinking about it because like when I went to school, my school didn't have dorms though. You know, if I had to have left, I would be like, I mean, I worked full time and went to school full time. And so where would I have gone? You know, wait, I was about to take this. I take out my basting thread. Oh, that broke. Never mind. Probably because I just had nicked it with my scissors. Let's see. Can I pull out the basting thread? Let's see if I can. Not sure I can on this one. Oh, here it is, right here. Horsey area. All right. Let's see, where'd you break? Probably at the seam. Right here. All right, let's overlock those. Okay, get this kind of onto there. This feels different for some reason. Okay. It's nice when you can clean up everything, isn't it? This is my other side of my basting stitch, or easing stitch. I'm pressing my little, like the ruffling, you know, it wants to like press like this, like toward me. And then sometimes the little edge, the folded edge doesn't get all the way caught in the overlock. Okay. Come on, man. I just, like, I'm standing here and my foot pedal is pushing away from my foot, and so I can barely get my toes on it, you know? It's so annoying. But I want to pull my serger any closer to the edge to make it longer, the cord longer. Get rid of all this. This is that basting thread again. See, like this right here, you see when you have the little tuck like this, right? Sometimes what will happen is it'll do this. It'll fold and pleat. I don't know if we can see that. And then you don't catch it all in the serger and it doesn't look nice. The serger just really is fine with thicknesses. I like it. All right. Okay. I'm gonna pull this serger tail to the seam allowance and stitch across it. And where's my other one? Here's my other one. Let's trim that thread, and then we'll put our serger tail. So now we have the hems, and shall we see how it looks? Let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, I can see that facing in there, you guys. I'll put the pins up here. Oh, ugh. See it right there? I mean to press that little wrinkle there and there. I don't like it when all the fullness is in the front and not right here. I need it right here. Maybe on me it'll feel different. Oh, I do have a little tuck. That's where that pin was. I knew it. I felt it. All right, so we have hems, the belt, and then I think I'll make the covered button, and that's where I'll stop. Let me look at this little tuck. I haven't gotten a tuck in a sleeve in a really long time. And you can't even see it on this side. It's right there. Because I was holding a pin down right here with the pin. So we'll ease it in there. It's not even like an easing spot. Like it's just, you know, I was trying to get that. Oh, that's a really, now I'm annoyed. Oh, you can't even see. How tight is it, Terry? If it's really tight, it might, or short. But no, shouldn't matter. You often need a vent to be able to lift your leg to walk upstairs, you know? Or sit. So it depends on how short it is. There we go, get rid of that tuck there. Let's see if I can sew this again. It's really hard, I can't see it. I knew it though. I'm gonna sew it from this side. There we go. So that maybe I can reach under there, fix it. Right here. See that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's below the knee. Oh yeah, you're fine. The thing with bias is also that you might find that the hem will get a little bit wonky. So when you're done sewing it, let it hang up for a couple days before you hem it. Let's see if I got it. I'm not sure I did. It's right here. Okay, I can get rid of that. That's fine. Okay. Dang, that wasn't even a tuck for easing. That's so annoying. Not my best project. I haven't had a good project in a while. I feel like I'm kind of like, you know. Let's iron this first though, this hem. This won't be a good one to pre-iron because we're kind of set on the hem amount right here because of that front facing. See right here. It's got a bit of a curve too. This would be a good hem to use a invisible stitch. You know? I know some people only use that to hem everything. I thought that was like magic when the first time I saw that. I think Nancy actually has a machine that does it. Come on, iron. Can you please get hot faster? I'm getting hungry. Let's see if I can ease this in here. It's kind of a lot. I turn it under a little bit extra in those areas to make it shallower. Like that. We were just talking about hemming in the guild because Shim had a really good tip. He had just heard a podcast. I know which one it was, but I won't name it. He didn't name it either. But and that he was kind of disappointed in the hemming advice because he just felt like, okay, we all know that, you know, and there could have been a little bit more of a tip included. And so he posted his tip for ironing a hem or preparing a hem. And I thought it was really good because I'd actually never really connected what he said to that. But their tip was iron, like if you have to pre-iron it, basically, their tip was just to pre-iron the hem. Fold both, like fold and fold, right? But his tip was just fold it the one like this. And that's sometimes all I do too. Like back here, I could probably do that. Just fold the amount, the total amount up like this. And then when you're at the machine, do this part. I think that was it, right, Shim? Maybe I might be wrong. Hopefully he's telling you in chat. I can't see chat. I often don't iron my hems because they're small and I don't find the ironing helps. And it's just so close to my fingers, I don't really enjoy that kind of ironing, you know. This right here, I'm going to iron this one under right here because I need to ease it a little bit. It is a little easier too if you iron the whole hem, the whole length of your hem, this amount, and then go back and turn it under. That is also a little easier because I was just a little harder on myself doing this. Let's see if we can get this to lay a little flatter. Okay, that is better. And if it's a big hem like this and I don't pre-iron all of it, sometimes what I do is I put pins like this just in the middle of the hem just to stabilize it so that I know, like, okay, at this point it has to be laying flat at those points, you know. I don't have any more pins over here, so we'll do more at the table. Oh no, Shem, I'm sorry. Blind him. What did I say? Invisible? Blind him. Thank you. Nancy is so funny. Nancy's starting a museum. If you're adding back pockets to pants, but you don't know the position because it wasn't in the pattern, how difficult is it to sew them at the end of the project? It's not like the most pleasurable experience, Martina, but it's fine. You know what you could do is compare it to pants you have that you've sewn or you haven't, and measure up from, like, line up the rise of your pant to the other ones, because if these are higher waisted and the ones you have are lower waisted, you don't want to just like measure down from the waist. Your tip was to fold it the hemmed up the whole way and then turn the raw down the fold and press it again. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. Okay. That's right, Shem, thank you. All right, so this really does feel like a blind hem would be better. Yeah, it ends up being kind of like doing binding, you know? Trying to make sure it doesn't get pushed. I think I just created a pleat trying to make sure I prevented one. I mean, fictional mistakes, right? Did they happen? All right, this right here needs to be trimmed. See how it's not lining up right there? Can you see that? It's so dark. When did it get so dark? Oh, I saw Ray's comment. I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I've been making like little trailers for a couple of my skill building sessions that I'm putting on my website for sale. And so I've been making like little trailers for them, right? To kind of give you a flavor of them and I don't know, to help sell them, right? And when I went to edit one, I was like, what is going on in this video? It looked like it was behind some sort of like sepia filter. And I realized it was because of the there must have been a lot of smoke in the air here, like not in my office, you know, but just like it was so orange and smoky in the video. It's so disappointing. And I edited it and used it because like on its own, no one's really gonna notice. I do because it's like, it was a really stark difference between the one I recorded the next day. So. All right. Hem. Done. Should have ironed the sleeves. I'm just looking for my thread to trim if I need to. Here it is right here. There's always a thread. All right. This is not a sleeve. This is a sleeve. Hazy shade of winter. Now watch me get a copyright strike. I love that you just quoted that song. Uh-oh. Rip to the sketchy spider. It's kind of a big hem. Trying to get it to where it's not twerking. I found this really cute gal who talks to her spider. She has like pet spiders and she talks to them. She talks to them in their voice. They're like called Muppet or Mob something. I don't know. She does such a good job though. I keep thinking I'm gonna get sick of it and I don't. And I really want to share it with my sister who's terrified of spiders because this gal used to be terrified of spiders and she's not anymore. But I don't want my sister to think I'm also like trying to make her, like change her, you know, or scare her. I mean, I do things to do that sometimes. My favorite thing to do to her, this is really mean, but you know, I didn't get that kind of sibling rivalry growing up because I was kind of an only child and my brother and sister were born when I was like 12 and 14 years old. That's when they were born. So when I was 12 or 14, right? So my favorite thing to do on an iPhone is, you know, like you can do a screen effect. And so I type the spider emoji and then I use the screen effect and I make it go all over the screen. She gets kind of mad. It's really funny. You know, sometimes I'll do it like for balloons for someone's birthday. She gets spiders. It was a cover. The cover I was thinking of was the Bangles. I thought their cover was actually pretty darn good too. They did kind of a rock version of it. You can't even look at it. Good thing I don't have your phone number, Terry. Did you see my little devil horns come out just now? All right, did our sleeve hems. Why is there so much thread here? The heck? There we go. It's like I had a long tail. All right. So I don't watch Lucas. What's Lucas? All right. It's looking pretty good. So that means, what did I say? Belt and covered buttons. You know what? Let's do the covered buttons because I don't think you need to see me sew a belt. Let's do the covered buttons. Let's do something new. All right, we've got the pusher, the back, the button shell, the fabric, the mold. Okay, we need some fabric. Place on fabric and cut out fabric to cut for sure line with interfacing. Okay, it doesn't sound like we need to interface this. So let me get a little piece of scrap of fabric to make our buttons. Well, here's some right here. I really like these when people like embroider them, you know? No, Fiona. Lucas the spider. He really? Now I want to find the spider girl. All right, let's see here. What do we need? Do we need some tools? No, it doesn't look like it. This looks pretty easy. All right, here's our pusher. And this. And then, oh, here's the pattern. Basically a 1.5 inch circle. Oh, 1 3/4 inch by, oh, is that? Well, that is 1 3/4. A 1 3/4 inch circle. Okay. Now I have that song stuck in my head too. You did. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right, we'll do this. 7/8, 7/8, 7/8. There we go. Now we have our quarter circle. And we don't have to get rid of our package. Let's see if it works. Not bad. A little squarish there. We can maybe trim that up a little bit, make it a little more round. I just played a really cute video game called, oh, really cute is not a great way to describe this video game, but it's called Stray. And it's about, you're a cat. Have you guys heard of this? It came out this summer. All right, so we have our mold. We're gonna put our fabric in here. We're gonna put it right side up, down. We're gonna put our button cover. Oh, this is gonna fit in there? Okay. We have our back. How's this gonna work? There's no way this is gonna work. Cut button pattern. Back, place some, okay. Center fabric, wrong side up, over mold. Hold fabric firmly and press button shell into mold. Okay. Hold fabric firmly and press. Oi, okay. Okay, so what we got going on here. All right. Tuck fabric. Oh, you got to tuck this into the shell. Yeah. Yeah, straight. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it definitely towards the end, it was a little bit scarier. I mean, it's like, it's not a big deal. And then, but you know, yeah, exactly. I actually got much more engaged with it when it became that way, and I thought that was really interesting that I felt that way. Because I'm not really a horror game person, so. I thinking with your knees. That's hilarious. All right, here's the pusher. So I put the little backing on there and put the pusher on here. And we do this till it snaps. Oh, I felt it. It doesn't sound like a snap. Oh, wait. That's not. There we go. That's not in there, is it? Did I do it? Oh, I did do it. I don't think this side's in all the way though. Okay, but that was just my first one. Oh, I got this one a little cockeyed, see? See it? How this edge. Now I use the blue thing. It feels firm. All right, let's try it again. This is fun. I love getting new things to try. I thought it was really funny. They were like, yeah, we want to, you know, like some people might be interested in this, so it might be kind of a cool thing. And I was like, yeah, I haven't done that for like 20 years. I don't know if I'm your gal. And they were like, that's okay. I was like, okay. Because there's probably people who are experts at this, and I highly recommend them. But like I always say, we always love watching a beginner, right? And when we're beginners ourselves. You know the thing about Stray, since it sounds like you guys played, have you guys finished it? I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to actually spoil things. I was just going to spoil how I felt after the end of it. But did you guys finish it? I'm really glad I played it. I really liked it, and I'm going to get the platinum. I just started Horizon Forbidden West the night before last, though. Okay, so put our fabric down, put our cap in here. Not you. You shouldn't be in there yet. This right here. Okay, we're going to hold our fabric and press it into this little mold. I'm going to make sure it's really in there this time, nice and even. If you like robots, it's a really, you're going to really like it. Oh, okay, Michelle. Okay. I won't say anything. I liked it. It's not a very long game. That's what everything will tell you. It still took me, because I explored everything. Like, I looked at everything. I looked for all the little things. I looked ahead at the trophy list just to kind of keep my eye on things I could see. I didn't want to, like, change the story by doing the trophies. So I usually do that. I just kind of keep my eye open, but I usually play the game through slowly the first time. And then I finished it. But mine, I think I easily spent 8 hours on that game, and they say, like, most people 6. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like way past that. So I got my money's worth. And one of the trophies is to speed run it in under 2 hours. So it's okay to tell you. Well, I just wanted to say that I felt like the ending was kind of abrupt. I wanted a little bit more. I wanted a reunion, and that's all I'll say. And I didn't get that. So, because I have to say, like, you guys have heard me say I'm kind of a weirdo about animals. I got this in Crooked again. It says it's going to snap, but I don't see a picture of snaps in place. I mean, it's on there. You know what it is? I think the flannel is too thick. But it's so, look at that. It's so nice on there. This seems like something Shim would really like. But look at, there's my edge. I think that the flannel is a little thick. I'm going to try one more. And I'm going to cut the flannel. I'm not going to change the circle size, but I'm going to maybe cut down on the bulk in there. Definitely couldn't have interfaced this. But it says if you use sheer fabrics to interface it, which makes sense, right? You wouldn't want the shiny metal showing. Okay. So let's put this one again face down on here. Put the cap on here. see if this will work. Okay, so we really need this to just cover the button and get caught in the backing, but let's trim down some of these little like ruffly folds. Even if we just clip into it a tiny bit. I don't know, I could be totally wrong. I'm gonna get rid of this little guy here. I'm gonna get rid of this right here. I'm just cutting out some triangles because it's a thicker fabric. Maybe they have these things made for thick fabrics. Oh, Libby, I like that idea. That sounds kind of fun. Oh, I thought so, Shema. So a slightly bigger area to push on. So can you push from the top? Well, see, I want to make sure this is in here flat. Do you mean like from up here, this top? Not really, because it's holding it together right now. You see that? It's like a little cupcake in there, huh? And so then I put this on here, and what I need to do is get this equal. And you know what I think is that this is pretty soft. It's not soft. It's actually not soft. I take that back. It looked soft, but it's not. So getting this on here, being really mindful of it to being level, and you know what? Maybe doing like something like this, putting your ruler on it. I don't know. Would that make it more level? Because I can feel it wants to tilt up where it's thicker. Like right here. Okay. No. I was going to try and do this, but with like from the ruler, but I actually don't think I'm going to be able to get it on there and hold it straight. So get this on here nice and level. Okay. No, it's not on there level, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to push down on this side to kind of level it out. That worked. Okay, that worked. That was good. Okay. So I just pushed down on the silver to push it down to get it more level inside here in the cup. Oh, I can still tell it went sideways. Ooh, it snapped. Ooh, 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 I got it. I got it. Look. Okay, okay, these aren't done yet. Okay, okay. We're learning. Oh, yeah, they do snap. Okay. I got it, you guys. All right. Thank you for putting up with me. If you have arthritis, get someone else to do this. It will hurt your hands. Yeah, the even pressure wasn't enough, though. Okay, look. See now? This thing's indestructible. These look good, nice. They look nice. It's kind of fun. I'll save this one. Well, there's two. There's supposed to be two. Maybe there was only a 4 and I got the extra piece. It doesn't tell you how many you get. It doesn't tell you how many you get. Oh, wait, wait, wait. Oh, yeah, you get 4 sets, so I got an extra cap. Okay, no wonder. We'll just save it just in case, I don't know, something happens with the cap. All right, so we'll put this in here. And we'll tape it shut. All right, that was fun. All right, the other buttons they gave me. The other buttons they gave me were buried at the bottom of the bin. Here we are. Yeah, exactly, Martina. Goodbye, hands. These are kind of nice. Look at, they have kind of a nice modeling that looks kind of like it's deep in there. You know, like it doesn't sit at the surface. They were like, you don't have to use them if you don't want to, but will you show how to put them together? Isn't that nice? So now that I made these, I'll just put those on the jacket. Why not? It's already 2 o'clock though. It's a long stream. I would like to try this on. It's not hemmed. It doesn't have all the threads gone. It doesn't have buttons and buttonholes. I'm gonna try it on. There's a few things I'll probably do off camera. I think I'm gonna fiddle with the neck a little bit so that I just wanna make sure there's no wrinkles. Oh, this fits really nice. How am I smaller than my dress form? I'm not smaller than this dress form. What do you guys think? It feels really nice. I like how narrow the shoulders are because it fits. My sleeves are kind of shoved in there though. My sleeves are kind of bulky for this jacket. So let me pull my sleeve down a little bit. What do you think? Hangs really nice. I'm less grabby. I think that's it. So if I had this buttoned, is the microphone over here? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just thumbing that thing. It wants to hang on me like this. So maybe I would need a larger size down here, from down here. I like the shoulders. How does the sleeve fit? The sleeve cap's too shallow on me. I need to add to the sleeve cap. And see these wrinkles right here? See that? I need a more sleeve cap height. Feels nice. Pockets. I think this looks pretty good. This is definitely not my style jacket because it just seems like you never see someone walking around here with something like this. And it's not that really. It's just like it looks like a lot for here. But so the fact that it wants to just hang straight down on me from here makes me think I could probably use a bigger size because when I do this, when I make it go over me, I can button it, but do you see the pole lines I get on the neck? Maybe that would be okay. Maybe I'm just being weird about it. How's the back look? Does it do that weird hip tilt thing for me? I don't feel it back there. It doesn't feel tight. But yeah, you can kind of see it happening. Those diagonal lines pointing up my butt, even though it's loose. Look at that. Hi, Axel. Welcome. Here's the pockets. The pockets are a little low. Like I was telling you before, Fiona, I don't know if you're still here, right? I think like this will be great on you, whereas I think I would like them a little bit higher. They're fine, but they just feel kind of low down here. And I use the same opening as them. This is great. I like this. Sleeve length is like perfect on me. I'm 5'4". I just don't like the way the back looks on me. Let's see the neck. How's the neck look, the collar? I can't see it. Reversible boiled wool stitches. Wow, that sounds nice. Is that a better view without my hair in the way? Okay, see how, this is another reason I can tell it needs more cap height, because you see how, look at how I have my arm at an angle like this. Sleeves are my wheelhouse, you guys, fitting a sleeve, okay? So think about that. Like, if this looks really nice with my arm at this angle, that's another good indication I need more cap height. Because when I pull it down, the sleeve's like, no, I can't do that. It's stretching it, right? I'm always looking for a better analogy to make my points. This has the two-piece sleeve, so it's got the natural bend. Cool. All right. Well, this was a fun, I mean, I kind of, it turned out really nice, but I think I could have done a little bit better job sewing it, as usual, right? It actually could be nice rainwear. I think it would be really nice rainwear for riding a bike if you had a split in it. I like rain skirts for riding my bike in the rain, though. Rain skirts are just ideal rather than pants, you know. I hate taking off wet rain pants. I mean, the flannel looks like a coat, though, doesn't it? I have to say I was pretty skeptical of flannel, but it's feeling pretty good. If this was lined, it'd be kind of legit as a coat. This area here, I would want to fit this a little differently. I'm not sure. It's really loose on me. Cool. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for putting up with my binding and all that. Let's look at it inside out and see what we think. Oh, did you guys notice if the facing was showing on the right side, that all that bulk? Here, I'll just put it on inside out. Why not, right? I mean, could we wear it like this? Maybe. Yeah, if you make one, Fiona, let us know. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so I'm not streaming. You didn't see any? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that fullness of the back facing right here. So I'm not streaming next week. I am in the guild. So if you're in the guild and you've been curious about that, looks like the ringmaster. Whoosh. Bring out the lions. We're doing a sandhill sling sew along. I feel like Rachel designed this name, so I couldn't say it. The sandhill sling along. It is a little visible. Yeah, so maybe pivot that out if you don't line yours. You could make it like just like a little dart. I think that would be fine. Like a pleat. I could probably just do that a little bit and then like press it open and it would just kind of look decorative, you know? I think I'll do that, you know? But, were you a Gryffindor in high school, Michelle? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, so right here, this facing. I love that little stream deck thing. Okay, you see how there's all this extra right here? What if I go like this? And I could just sew a little pleat in it like that. Let's try it. It's an experiment. Oh, I still need to fix that binding spot. I need to fix a few things on this project. I want to make sure that neck looks good. All right. It's not really a big enough pleat to do this with. Maybe this isn't a good solution. I could maybe stitch it down. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that. It sort of looks natural. in my mind, it was a bigger pleat. You know what I mean? Like looking at the back of a shirt. It could be pressed. If you didn't bind yours like I did, you could stitch it down. So, all right, yeah, I'm not streaming next week, but yeah, the Sandhill Sling Along is a free group to join. Even if you're not sewing one, you can come. It's on Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific. What is that, Rachel? Is that 4 p.m. Central? Or Mountain? It's 4 p.m. Central, right? A different time. And it'll be a Zoom. I told her we could be a live stream, but I think a Zoom is great because we can talk. But you can just join without your camera and just open the chat, talk in the chat, just like this if you want. And that's in the Guild, sosoguild.com. If you are in there already, just go to the left of the Guild and there's a little menu item called Groups. Pick that, pick the Sandhill Sling Along, join it. And then there's events. Always, you have to like sign up for the event to actually see it in your events when you're in the main Guild community. Yeah, it's kind of an odd time because we made it convenient for Rachel because it's her group. 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Once you've RSVP'd and you're in the Guild, it'll just show up in your events and it'll remind you. And there'll be a Zoom link and you join from the Guild. So it'll be fun. Yeah, 10 p.m. UK. Yeah, I loved Rachel's like, so what time works for Europe and Australia and New Zealand? And I didn't even answer her because I was like, I'm going to let her figure that out because if she finds a time that's good for everybody, I want to know what it is. And basically the time that's good for them is 4 a.m. my time. Yeah, I'm going to record the Zoom. It'll be available. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 4 a.m. works for all 3 time zones. 4 a.m. my time. That's not happening. Not happening. All right, well, I'm going to go eat some lunch, and then I'll see you guys 2 weeks from now on the Wednesday before Saturday. So, and it's Anything Goes week. Yes, absolutely, Michelle. You don't need a webcam. You don't need to talk or anything if you don't want. There's a chat window, and you can talk in chat. Yeah, I don't require a face cam unless we're doing a fitting session, like the one-on-one fitting sessions, but that goes without saying, and it's just us. So nice, Fiona. That's great. Cool. Yeah, bring on the questions. I'll try and have a whole bag cut out so I can do whatever. It's a pretty quick bag to sew, but I do have some tips on the fabric selection because I used the waxer canvas by, is that Robert Kaufman that did that? Waxer canvas. I found that was just too tightly woven to sew on. Yeah, okay, Michelle. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'll see you guys here on YouTube. Anything Goes week. I'll be sewing all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun. Those are always really fun weeks. So, and then until then, have a great week, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.